What's up, guys, and welcome back for another EVE Online solo mining episode. We're going to be doing some ice mining today, but also I'm going to be kind of reworking my PI templates because it occurred to me, I don't know why it was such a late thing, but with the multi-select, we don't really need to have every single planet's template saved. We can just have one standard extraction planet template, and then we can use multi-select to change its installation and what it's extracting for a little bit cleaner kind of situation. So it also, you can see right here the just want to kind of, before I restarted any of these or mess with any of these, up here you can see the restart button here. I'm not going to restart them because I think we're going to probably move these guys around, chase white a little bit, since we're really only working on with one toon here, only 6 planets. But what we're probably going to do is use this planet as the main template, mainly because it's got what, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. It's got 12 of these factories, which will be perfectly fine, because if we're chasing white, we want to just blitz all of that P0 into P1. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to be like getting rid of a lot of these templates here that we've got, because we don't need them all anymore. I think whenever the feature first was kind of in preview, it was fine, and it's also kind of tedious to like keep a bunch of them as well. So we're going to get rid of all of these, because all these are just basically set to certain things. And this is actually, we're going to keep this one because this is our coolant and it has 2 extractors on it. So we're going to be making adjustments to this, and then we'll save it as the main, and we'll also try to move everything around and whatnot. So let's go ahead and kind of readjust this window a little bit, and also that way we can just kind of like keep this thing a little bit neater. We don't have to have a scroll bar or anything. But like I said, on this format here, we got 5 on the inside, 6 on the outside, so 11 actually. But we might not need all of this. We might have to actually like kind of adjust how much we're using here, because depending on the radius of planets, we want to make sure that we have kind of a little bit of breathing room for a lot of this. So I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to probably end up decommissioning 2 of these and just have this formation here. This would be 6 7 8 9, which is a good number. We could also just kind of bring this to 10. We essentially just want as much margin for our power and CPU as possible. And the reason we want to do that is if we build this template on a smaller radius, but we go try to put on a bigger radius, we might run into problems with all that. So we have these currently set to precious metals. So I'm gonna go ahead and fully set this one up just so it matches everything else here before we save it. There we go. And then I want to go ahead and restart this one. We'll actually use this we'll restart this one because we're going to be saving, and I don't really know if there's going to be weird things happen when we go to save this. All right, so we can just name this, I'm going to name these really simple. We're just going to call this the extract, so we can drop this on any planet and then just quickly change these 10 factories to whatever we need. But I just want to kind of go over that a little bit. We're going to go ahead and let's get this miner started here. I already came out here to the ice belt. Get out here and get some ice done. Now I know you can actually do this strategy that I do with ice mining with porpoise drone mining, but it's a little slower. But the reason why I prefer running the endurance here, and the way I do this, is like if neutrals come into system, all I have to do is just hit the cloak button and just chill until they kind of move on. I don't have to reposition or anything. I'm keeping myself 2,500 meters plus from the rock, from anything. If you have drones with like a porpoise, then you are subject to waiting for them to come back to you and dock before you can actually cloak up. So this way, This is just a extremely fast way to kind of just go into hiding a little bit, which means that we don't necessarily need these sensor boosters here, since we're essentially just going to grab out the second anything comes in the system. But now we can only hold 19 units of ice, but with this strategy, we can essentially do this all day, right? Our only real downside for this is rats when they come on grid, but most of the time, if I'm out here, if there's other people in this alliance that are out here mining in bigger kind of setups, then they usually take care of that or whatever. But I really don't have any problem with that, and that's what's nice about the endurance is we do have some warriors in here, which warriors are the appropriate drone for this area. I actually kind of rearranged my UI a little bit today, not much. I just drug local out to where you guys can see it. That way, when we're mining like this, you can essentially see what I see. And also, I like to try to keep everything in like the center cone of vision, so I don't have to like, you know, go look on far corners of the screen to see what's going on. It's like if I'm looking here, I see local, I see my lasers, I see all the things I need to see. And that's very much intentional. What's nice about nullsec is we don't necessarily have to jam the directional scanner, the D-scan, like we do in high-sec. Because if we see a neutral come into local here, then we know that there's stuff out there that we need to hide from. So it makes it a lot more chill, actually, because in high-sec, I'm just sitting there, you know, mining and just constantly hitting V and refreshing that thing, and it just is ridiculous. So... but while we're looking, and also while I'm doing like PI or something, like I'm sitting here do PI while we're doing ice mining, I can still see a local. And then if I need to like back out of this really quick when neutrals come in, then I'm good to go. This planet is doing pretty well in terms of, but I think we're actually going to probably redo this as well. I think we can probably put, you know, coolant onto the process planet. We can probably drop 2 of the robotic factories and put those 2 as coolant, and then figure out a way to just get our water and electrolytes from a normal extract process, and then just dump everything into that one process planet. I think it would end up working out a lot better. Because as it sits right now, this planet is only giving us 1 factory's worth, and that's why I haven't restarted this yet, because I'm going to be redoing all of this. And we're going to just clear all of these basically, and then we're going to use that new template that we just built, the extract template we just built, to kind of lay all that stuff down. Now, something I do recommend you do before, you know, you move stuff around, and if you're going to use the method that I'm going to use about chasing that white around, before we clear this planet, we want to make sure we pull everything off of that launch pad. We can just stick it over here in the customs office. It won't go anywhere. Then we can destroy the launch pad or whatever, and it'll still be there. So we're going to go through each one of these sky hooks, access the sky hook, and just drag all this stuff over. We do probably need to go and do a pickup today and drop stuff over. We can pull all this stuff out too, just so we have it saved. That way, if we actually go and do a pickup, we can drop stuff on the process planet and get a little bit of, you know, things happening there. Go to customs office here. Do we get this one? All right. And transfer. So we're all good now. Now we're actually good to actually kind of like, you know, get rid of these guys here. We're probably going to do this one first, because this one's already saved, and also this one's kind of running too. So we're going to go here and just... Now you can delete the command center, and it'll do it all at once, but we don't want to get rid of the command center. We want to keep the command center. And then we're just going to go each one of these. And while we're doing this, we're, you know, that's why it's benefit of having local kind of right here. We can make sure we keep an eye on it, and we don't have any surprises. I like these darker planets. They're so much easier on the eyes. That gas planet is ridiculous. And we'll just clear this one too. We kind of got the information we needed from this gas planet, in terms of like how we want to kind of run our coolant. So it did its job. But I think we can probably do a little bit better. And like that's the other thing too, is like with only six planets for a character, you're extremely limited on what you can do. That's why I usually tell people just like, focus on like, parts of a piece, like, just doing like robotics. We can very easily do robotics to a very pretty decent amount of yield. And but like doing the full fuel block thing is going to be just a challenge, right? We're going to sacrifice yield for the ability to actually make that end product. And since we're mining in endurance, we're not like we're doing like crazy amounts of yield every day. So we should be able to keep up and keep everything running for the most part. Later today, I still have to go to JITA and get that BPO sent out here. It won't take very long to get out here once I get, the freight contract put in, but I just haven't really got to it. These process planets, this process planet is pretty much always going to be like this. Like this is like the maximum amount of factories you can get on a single planet. And the only thing that will change in here probably is just going to be what these factories do. So for instance, let's say we take these two here and we want to install a different schematic. We can go coolant on this, right? And so now we actually have two robotics and we have two coolants. And that way we know that every piece of our P1 for the entire fuel block process can get dropped into that one planet, and we have 5 other planets to work through. There's also another strategy that I've used in the past too, where you don't run any factories on your extract planets. You just run extractors, and you just basically pull the P0, and it allows you to get 2 or 3 different types of P0 from each planet. It allows you to kind of like make everything. And then you just have like a process planet to like process whatever you need. The only problem with that is we would have to actually add factories for P1 on our process planet. And in most cases, it's better to have 2 process planets for that. So essentially, this other barren planet would be another process planet identical to the first one, but instead, this other one would be doing nothing but P1. So this would be doing all of our precious metals, reactive metals, our toxic metals, reactive metals, and all that, and like electrolytes and water and all that. So step 1 would be dropping all P0 into that planet, and then we'd come up to the planet that does the other stuff. And like this process planet is also doing P1. So we could technically, have structures and the reactive metals on that other process planet, and we could actually have more on this process planet doing mechanical parts and the coolant and the enriched uranium and stuff like that. So, well, actually, no, never mind. I'm looking at the storage. Never mind. So this would be all like P2. Yeah. All P2, P3. And then our other process planet would be P1. I'm going to look around. I'm going to take a little break after mining here in a little bit, and we're going to look at these planets and see what we can do in terms of P0, like either double or triple pull P0 and see if that's even possible. We only have 4 planets to work with in that case, but I would like to get to a situation where we're kind of pulling everything that we need and all that. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started on redoing all this PI, all these other planets, get them running again, and we'll continue to do some mining and kind of carry on with the day. All right, we're doing a quick pickup. We took a little bit of a break from ice mining real quick. I just want to go ahead and get all of this P1 kind of picked up from these other planets, just in case we want to switch up planet types and kind of redo that a little bit. But we're just going through and grabbing all these, and it makes it a little bit more difficult whenever they're like cleared like this. You have to kind of remember what number you're on. But I figure since there's not a whole lot of activity in the system right now, and it usually doesn't take very long to kind of get this process done every day, we'll get it done real quick. And also we have that new coolant factories on the process planet, so we'll be able to, the coolant doesn't have to go anywhere. It can go back to HQ, as it were. So all we have to really do is drop those electrolytes in, and we should just have this one other one to do here. 2 more stops. Grab our toxic metals, and then we'll be able to jump over and drop this stuff off into processing. Then we go switch back and get back on ice mining. But like I said, if we decide to actually get rid of like the gas planet, for instance, in lieu of something else for our needs, we have all the customs offices cleared out for that. There we go. Last stop. Go to the process planet, open up its customs office, And we also need to pull stuff off of this as well too. So for instance, robotics, mechanical parts, those can come off because those are going to go back to HQ. Because these mechanical parts are actually our overflow. These are actually for the input for the fuel blocks. So we don't want these to hang out inside. We're making enough mechanical parts and consumer electronics to do the robotics. So now we just need to come in here and grab all of our P1. Drop all that. We just got electrolytes to throw in there. Good to go. And we can go and hit dock on that. And so there we go. And while we're waiting for that, we can just kind of dump all this stuff in. Hopefully it all fits. Oh yeah. Good to go. Now we can go and look at this view. We can see everything's running now except for robotics. Obviously, it'll run once we get mechanical parts and consumer electronics built. That's kind of the purpose of everything. Like that's how easy we want it to be. We want it to be just, you know, grab stuff from the other planets, drop them into this one, and it outputs everything we need. All right, we're back out mining. So now we can just kind of start working slowly at kind of figuring out how we want to do these other planets. Now, just speaking from experience, precious metals are always going to be an issue. So we definitely don't want to skimp on the noble metals stuff. But we're going to be moving these around a lot just to kind of chase the density on the planet. So as you can see, this is the best density spot right here. So now all we have to do is just open our templates, go to our extract, we can load it, and it's just going to pick a random spot over here that we get to kind of maneuver around. And we'll get it kind of somewhere near where we need it to be. And then we can move it up. Now, as far as the heads go, we're not going to be kind of micromanaging it to the point where we're going to be putting them all right on top. I think if you put your kind of situation, your colony, right on top of the lowest, you just bring that, you know, scan radius down to you barely see white, and just put your colony right there. Should be good to go. So now we'll just be building these pins out. We're watching two things right now while we're doing this. We're watching our PvP overview for rats. We're also watching local. So now, even though you load these, you're still gonna have to go in here and do the extractor here, which we'll have to submit, and then we'll have to actually go in here and turn this on. But we just select this to noble metals, and I'm gonna set it up to 24 hours like I normally do. Got a little bit of UI lag right now. I'm also trying to keep an eye on local too. And we're just going to open up all of these heads, all 10 of them. We're just going to let them stay where they are. And we're getting about 800,000 for the total run, which will be fine. We could, if you wanted to, you could bring them in. You could micromanage them a little bit. And you might be able to get to 1 million. I do prefer to have my total extraction yield be around 1 million. So we just pulled these in just a little bit and we're over 1 million. Now we just hit start and precious metals is good to go. We just have to hit submit. And then we have to route. We might have to do this every single time if we're changing this extractor for each one, but that's why we're doing this. This is a kind of a science experiment here. So we're going to exit that. Now this next one we're actually going to have to change and do a multi-select to change our P1 that's being generated. And we are still focusing very heavily on the robotics side. You definitely want to just build a stockpile of robotics and oxygen. So this gas planet, we're actually going to put oxygen back on this planet because that is just going to be something that we just need a ton of. So that's going to be noble gas. And then we're going to bring this down as much as we can until we start kind of seeing a good area. I think it's going to be up here in the upper hemisphere, maybe. Actually, I kind of like this area down here more. All right, so let's open our templates up again. We're going to go with our extract. Luckily, that kind of brought it close to where we needed it. Now, obviously, if I was docked, we'd be doing a lot better. at this because I wouldn't be paying attention to so much stuff, but we are wanting to kind of multitask here. We're wanting to make sure that we're doing all of our mining while we're doing all this other kind of stuff. So now we're just going to go in here. We need to go to Ionics, not Ionic Solutions. What is it? Not Noble Gas. There we go. And bring it up right under the D. That's usually right where the day marker is. And honestly, like with as tedious as this might look, like with all the moving the heads around and everything, it's still not as bad as it was previously before templates and whatnot. So this is actually pretty chill because we will probably keep this set up here for several days, if not like a week. So we're 1.3 million on that. And so then all we have to do is just route this to our launch pad, hit submit. And now we just get in here and we're gonna, this is our first shift click kind of reassessment here. And then right click, go to install schematics, and this is gonna be oxygen. And all we have to do is hit submit on that. And we're good to go on there. So you can see, very easy. I'm gonna update my templates on Patreon. So, you know, if you're interested in like having these templates as a basis to go off of, then, you know, they're available to members over there, support the channel, and, you know, get access to things like my overview and other kind of, you know, interesting content out there. We still have to figure out kind of what we want to do with coolant. Coolant is also one of those things, based on my experience, that you need a lot of. And there's a pretty big market actually for people who already are doing fuel blocks. They will always buy more coolant, more robotics, and stuff like that, because coolant is one of those harder things to get. So I'm thinking that we have enough planets to basically do all the things we need to do for robotics plus oxygen. We might chill a little while on coolant, build our robotics up a little bit, and then switch over to like stockpiling coolant and all that. The precious metals are always going to be like a bottleneck. So we want that always running, even if we're not like actively building robotics. Also, enriched uranium is a newer thing too, right? So toxic metals needs to be one thing that we're focusing now on too. So this lava planet for now is probably going to be toxic metals, and it probably will always be toxic metals because it's going to go into enriched uranium. And also when we're doing robotics and stuff, and we don't have any of that stuff. We don't have any enriched uranium out right now. So we're going to put this out for toxic metals real quick. See if we can speed this up a little bit. This little window is kind of tedious. I wish we could like, this could be a little bit more user friendly. All right, go ahead and install that. And I'm kind of still just getting used to like using this in my day-to-day process as well. So what you did, place the template, and then we're gonna go in here, select our heavy metals, select it for a day. You could also set this for more than a day if you wanted to. It just really kind of depends on what your goals are. And then we are designed here for all 10 heads. And we're going to bring these all in as close as we can. I don't really like overlapping on the pins for the factories because it just makes it visually cluttered. But you could even get more resources per cycle by, you know, bringing them in a little tighter. But we're 1.1 million on that. All right. Next step is just to route, and then we can submit, and then we can just select all these. Right click, and we'll install schematics for toxic metals. Where are they at? Right here. And submit. Done. Local looks good. We're about 10 of 19. So hopefully by the time we kind of get through all this, we will have a full load to go through here. So these two can technically go into enriched uranium right now. So we might focus on that. We're going to go ahead and look at this storm planet. I think we're going to try to build electrolytes here. We're going to see which one is better for water. And then we also have the ice planet over here as well. It's kind of, oh, this one's definitely good for water. It shows it has high density, but it's not that great. Let's go back over to the storm planet. We'll look at the aqueous liquids there. The further right we can go on that slider, the better. So we got like these two spots right here. And I think this one's going to be it right here. We're going to do water here. We need to make sure that we can get ionic solutions on... Okay, so we can't get ionic solutions on ice. That's unfortunate. So we're going to have to actually go with ionic solutions here on this planet, which should be high density too. Just because we want to build up a good amount of... we want to build up a good amount of coolant here. Actually, I think... why won't it let me do... Let's close this. Kind of bring up the templates again. There we go. Sometimes you got to bring the templates back up for it to let you do what you need to do. Oh, hell, that's a good spot too. Jesus. Oh, let's go back over to scan. It's like the template selector knew exactly where the best place was. And now for this, we could actually go right in between these little two spots here. Looks like we could drag that a little bit, but it was kind of buggy. Alright, submit on this one. Go ahead and get this installed. Ionic Solutions, day. We might be able to just let these heads kind of, you know, rest where they lie here. 1.2 million, I'm okay with that. So we're going to start extraction on that. And we'll go and route this to our launch pad. Hit submit. And then shift click on all this. This will be electrolytes. There we go. And then the last one, the ice planet that we'll work on in this episode, will be water, which will go with the electrolytes. I didn't really like the water kind of density here, but we're going to see kind of how it looks once we drop the template up on here. Okay, so it does let you drag it. It's just you have to get right over the colony. Perfect. Install on that. Hit submit, and then let's go ahead and get this set up, and this should be the last of it. Aqueous liquids, go to down to a day, and I think we're just gonna like leave these. If they were over 1 million, we're just gonna leave them where they go. Yeah, 1.3 million there, which is good to go. And then we'll just route this, and then we submit, and then we just gonna change all these to water. Kind of hard to see, so we just need to make sure we have them all selected there, and then go tier 1, go water, and then go submit if I can find my cursor. And there we go. So now we can let this sit for like a week or so, get a lot of coolant. We'll have the electrolytes and water dump into the new coolant factories there in our process planet. And also just be building enriched uranium and oxygen, building all that support material up and everything. We're almost done with this mining run, but that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check out the Patreon page for exclusive content, and that's a good way to support the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.